everybody, it's me Adele and welcome to my channel Sew for Serenity, where I talk to you about my sewing journey. Welcome back if you are a regular viewer, and if you're new here, I hope you enjoy this vlog and consider subscribing. So welcome to this week's Friday Sews vlog, where I talk to you about what I've been doing in the world of sewing this week and what my plans are for the week ahead. So without further ado, let's crack on and do it. So I have had such a productive week. After sharing on my past couple of vlogs about how I have lost my Sewjo a little bit, it really came back with a vengeance this week. And I think it's because when I did my June's plans vlog, I talked about not giving myself too much to do and leaving enough space for the things that I just want to, you know, that excite me and make me want to do them. So that is what I've done. And this week I've managed to do 3 garments. So I'll talk you through them. The first garment that I've done is what I'm actually wearing. So I am wearing the Zadie jumpsuit, which is by Paper Theory Patterns. And here we go, so they're the line drawings. And this is my second version of this, albeit my first version was a toile. So initially it was going to be a wearable toile, and once I'd made my adjustments, I was going to update that Zadie with the adjustments. And I did do that, however, I didn't like the length, the cropped length, so in the end I decided to scrap it and just start again. I wasn't precious over that fabric. It was fabric I got on a swaps table, and although it was lovely, it wasn't like precious fabric. So I decided to bite the bullet and cut into this beautiful fabric that I got from First for Fabrics. Now unfortunately, I think after I shared it on one of my vlogs, the last couple of meters that they had sold out, and they had it in the grey colourway as well, which I believe is sold out too. But yeah, this is my Zadie. I won't be able to show you the whole thing, but I absolutely love it. Turn around. I'll put some pictures in up here so you can see what it looks like in full length. And there are some adjustments that I have made to this pattern. So the first adjustment that I have made is I did a sway back. Now a sway back adjustment is basically where you keep the sides of your bodice the same. You don't shorten those, but you take out a wedge almost. So you kind of come in at a angle and you kind of come in like this. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. So actually what happens is if you do that on both sides, you end up getting a diamond shape out of the middle. And what that does is it pulls down the back and also rises up the front. So what was happening with my toile was, and I didn't take a picture, which I'm a bit annoyed about, is the shoulders, where this seam line sits here, it's sitting perfectly, and where the neck sits, it's sitting on my neck in the right position. But when I did my toile, the shoulders were really far forward like this, and the neck was really, I can't even do it now, was really high up here, and it just didn't sit right. And because of that, all being too far forward, the fabric, excess fabric, was bunching up in the crotch area here. Now at the time I didn't know if those two things were connected. However, when I went on my block drafting course at Crafty So and So, I remember the teacher saying never make more than one adjustment at a time, because it's amazing how by just making one adjustment can solve quite a few fit issues. So I bared that in mind. And I knew that I don't have a short bodice. I know that I never have to adjust a bodice. So when I googled it about trying to fix shoulders, it spoke about a sway back. So on my twirl, I did that, and I took out a massive chunk in my twirl fabric. So on the bodice piece, I took out a big chunk, which I can show you on the pattern piece. So as you can see there, this is exactly the same. I probably should have straightened that a little bit actually. This is exactly the same length. It's not been shortened here, but where it has been shortened is at the centre here. So obviously this is cut on the fold. As you can see, there's a good couple of inches there. And obviously that would replicate on the other side, which means it comes into a bit of a diamond shape. And what that's actually done to my Zadie is it's pulled the shoulders back into the right position, lowered the neck, and then because it's pulling it back into the right position, all of that excess fabric that I had has gone. So I was really, really pleased with that adjustment, and thank you for those of you that recommended it was the sway back adjustment. Now I've never had to make a sway back adjustment ever before on any pattern, so it was quite a shock that I needed to do that. But it's obviously the Paper Theory block, I just need to do that on it. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind for myself, that if I had those fit issues again, that's what it's likely to be. The other thing that I didn't like about my toile was the cropped length. Because I'm short, I'm only 5'3", I find a cropped leg cuts me off and makes me look shorter. So I extended it by 6 inches. I actually added on basically the whole width of that to the bottom of the pattern, and then the hem allowance is 2 centimeters twice, so 4 centimeters. So I suppose if I hadn't have done such a big hem, then I didn't have to lengthen it that much, but I didn't know exactly how much I need to lengthen it by, and I'm really happy with the length. It doesn't trip me up when I'm walking barefooted, but it's just long enough for a nice little wedge, which I'm wearing here in these photographs. Other things about the Zadies, it's actually quite a quick sew. I mean, the thing that takes the longest is the bias binding and making that. If you actually had your own bias binding already made, it would be very, very quick. I made the size 12. Now, based on my actual measurements, I would be in a size 16, but there is no way I need a size 16. Well, a 14 top and a 16 bottom, but I went for the 12, which yeah, there's so much ease in this pattern that worked well for me. So go by the finished garment measurements, definitely. And all I do, I've shared before, I just get the tape measure to the finished garment measurements and check that ease around my body, and that's how I come to the conclusion. I think from a bust top point of view, the 12's perfect, and at the moment the bottom half is perfect. If I continue to lose weight, where I will lose the weight is on my hips and waist, so potentially I could size down, but really the waist is a tie waist, so you don't really need to worry about it. So I'd say your hip and your bust measurements are the most important on this. So yeah, that is my Zadie. I hope you like it, and yeah, I can see lots of more of these in my future. I'm thinking I might make a play suit version as well, because this is quite fabric hungry, this pattern. I used 2.5 meters. I used every last bit with the extra length on as well. I've got a few scraps left, but nothing really to do anything with. Might be able to get a headband out of it. My next finish make is this lovely kilo wrap dress, which is sat next to me here. Can't get it all in, I'm afraid, but I've popped it there just so you can see it. But I have got some really nice photographs of me wearing it. So I made the kilo wrap dress in this jersey fabric, which is a Lady McElroy. It is on Minerva at the moment, and it's in the sale at $14.38 per metre at the moment. And I had 2.5 meters of this and had enough left over to make a little matching headband here as well, which I'll show you in the photograph. So this pattern I've made before in a cotton jersey. This is a viscose jersey. Now I made the long sleeve version before, and I adjusted the length, and last time I took off the height of about 3 inches, which I normally adjust my patterns by. I took it from probably below the thigh, and I never was really happy with that adjustment. I felt that because the kilo comes in a I don't know what that shape's called, but this shape, I felt like I'd done it in the wrong place, and it hadn't quite worked. The proportions weren't quite right. Probably not enough for anybody else to notice, but for me certainly I did notice. So the second time round I wanted to amend the pattern. Now the great news about the kilo wrap dresses, I tried on my one that I made when I was much slimmer, and it fitted me still, because the bust and because the waist and the hip measurement are almost irrelevant, because this is a lot of, you know, when you open it out there's loads of room there. It is just your bust, and my bust hadn't increased massively. It's probably about 1 inch, 1.5 inches more. So with the ease in a jersey, I thought I'd be okay, and it did fit me, so that was great. I didn't have to cut out a new pattern. So I thought I'd show you, because lots of people have asked me how I adjusted the pattern, so I am going to show you what I did. Now what I didn't notice the first time round was the kilo wrap dress has these lines across the pattern. It has a waist, a bust, a hip and a thigh, and a knee there. So you're able to hold this up to your body and really see where those lines sit on you. Now I was pretty confident that I didn't have to make any changes to the bodice because my waist does sit usually in the right place. So when I hold this up, you can see that the waistline is in the waist, the hip line is on the hip, which is here, and you can't see, but the thigh line is, oh, I can't really show you, but the thigh is on my thigh and the knee is on the knee. Now that is after I've adjusted it, so I didn't actually make this permanent so I could show you. But as you can see there, if I pull that out, oh, you can see here, that's the difference in adjustment. So basically, when I first had this up to me, the hip line was far too low. So that meant I could raise that up a little bit. And then it also meant my knee line was too low as well. So if I just take these pins out, sorry for the whistling, you can see there's a massive amount there that I've took out as well. So before I took it all out of the knee area, on my last version, which wasn't the right thing to do, and now I've took I mean, I don't know how much that is, I don't even know how much I took out of it. So what we've got 2 inches there, 2 inches there, so I took 4 inches out of the length, but in 2 different places. And if I hold that up to me as the original pattern, you can see that the oh, and I hold it up, waist is there and hip is much lower on me. So that is how I figured out how to change my pattern. I didn't change the vent at the back because I quite like the slit at the back being how it is. It doesn't particularly go too far up my back or anything, so I was happy with that adjustment. I hope that made sense there. But that's how I did it. So I suggest you print the pattern out, hold it up to your body and check where those lines are on your body, and where they don't align, shorten accordingly or lengthen accordingly. Although I love this version, I am not a fan of the no sleeve version. I don't really like the bias binding finishing on it. I think actually it probably would just look neater just folding it over, because you get quite a lot of bulk on it. So I think if I did it again, I'd do a short sleeve version maybe. Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't particularly love on it, but I don't dislike it, and I do feel lovely in this as well. It's very comfy and a beautiful summer make, so I'm very glad that I've made this up, and I'm very happy with my top stitching and my Mariflex thread, and yeah, overall a really beautiful make. And my third and final make for the week is my Remsis shorts, and this is the Remsis shorts. Now these are by Georgie Stitches. I never get that right. Georgie, I might be pronouncing that wrong. Georgie Stitches. And this was a pattern test that I did last year for a pair of shorts, and I'm so glad I did, because I absolutely love these shorts. And if you follow me on Instagram, I've shared about how from a body confidence point of view, this has done such, given it such a boost. It did last year and it has this year. Even when I was at my slimmest, I didn't like wearing shorts. Whenever I purchased ready to wear shorts, they were always too tight across my thigh, even when they're not meant to be. So I'd buy the one that's the size that fit me on the waist, but they wouldn't fit me nicely enough or have enough ease in the thigh. So that meant I'd size up, and when I sized up, they were too baggy in the waist, and then had the room in the leg. So yeah, I just kind of moved away from shorts really, but these ones are just an amazing pattern. They're very, very easy and simple to make. They've got some lovely details. They've got pockets, side pockets or seam pockets. They've got the option to put patch pockets on, and they've also got a lovely little vent on either side, and really, really nice. Now, where are they? Right, so here are my shorts. Now, I have got photographs of me wearing them. Oh, a little bit of thread there. Isn't there always a little bit of thread? Let's trim it off before I show you. Now, I wore these all day yesterday and they were so comfy. Now, this fabric was gifted to me by the lovely HAYLEY from So HAYLEY Jane. The story around it is, I was trying, as you know, when I unbox my So HAYLEY Jane subscription boxes, I always try and guess what the theme is. And last year, I I'd watched some of the teasers and saw it was a summer theme, and I guessed it was going to be leaf print. And then when it wasn't, although I love the fabric, I was a bit disappointed. So the next month, HAYLEY sent me out of her own stash a metre of this beautiful linen with these flowers on it. And I absolutely love it. It's so nice. And I didn't have a chance to do it last year, but I sewed up these this year and I love them. Lovely pockets, beautiful and breezy. I've paired it with just a black t-shirt. I love it. These are the little vents and I just think they're just so cute. Now there is the steps in the there are steps in the pattern to sew a line of stitches along the elastic to keep it in place, which I do want to do. However, I just want to wait till I've lost a bit more weight first, because at the moment these will be really easy to just bring in if I do lose a bit more waist, a bit more weight on my waist. So I've left it as it is, but I will look at doing that probably. And then I've put in this gorgeous little me-made flower tag that I got from Guthrie Garney, which are the Guthrie Garney labels, and yeah, just really love them. The one thing I did notice was, though, I have put 2 flowers on the butt cheeks, which, you know, probably needed to rethink that pattern placement, but oh well, never mind. So these shorts are available on the Etsy store. I've put a link in the notes, so if you want to purchase this pattern, it's a beginner level pattern. It goes from a size EU size 34 to 46, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, if you want to check that out and any other of her patterns, please head over to our Etsy store. Okay, so that is all the sewing I've been doing. I have also done some cutting out. So things I want to talk to you about. I have cut out my Little Miss Sew and Sew make. It is a woven make this time, and it is quite in depth. So it's going to take me a little minute to get that one done. It's an intermediate level pattern. It's not a quick, easy make. It is going to take some time, and I want to get it right. So you have to watch this space. There are other unboxings out there, so you can find out what the pattern is, but I'm not going to spoil it for you on here. So I cut out the fabric for that. And then the other things that I've been doing is I have printed out some patterns. So the first pattern that I printed out is a swimwear pattern for the swimming costume that I'm going to make for Alice. And thank you for all your recommendations, and I have actually purchased a couple of patterns. I've got a couple of Ellie and Mac ones which I will look at, but they were a little bit more complex than this one. So I've gone for this one with the fact of getting this one right, and then I can move on to those other ones because I've got some more fabric for Alice. So this is the Peekaboo Patterns Sun in Fun swimsuit and leotard, and it's got these cute details. It's got a bow back here, or you can have a crisscross strap, and then it's got these cute little optional frills on the arms. And you don't have to line this, it's optional for lining. I think it's because it's a kid's swimming costume. You do find in the shop the ready to wear swimming costumes, they aren't lined, so I'm probably not going to line Alice's. I think from point of view with children, they want them to dry as quickly as possible in 2 layers. Although it's quick drying, it's better just to have the 1 layer for them. And also I think with the 2 layers, the sand gets stuck in between the layers and can be quite irritating on the skin. So I'm just going to go for the 1 layer. So I've printed out this pattern. I'm going to get it cut off today, and I'm going to take it with me to my sewing social tomorrow that I'll talk to you about in a bit. So yes, that's exciting. And this is the fabric. I've shared this with you so many times. I'm probably going to have enough left over to do perhaps a rash guard or something as well, because I've got quite a lot of this. And some of the Ellie and Mac patterns that I've got have got rash guards on them as well. So yeah, I'm going to see how I get on with cutting this out. With it being swimwear and it also not having to do a lining, it doesn't take up a massive amount of fabric. Oh, that's the crisscross design there as well, which is quite cute as well. But I am going to go for the bow version on the first one. So there we go. I just need to measure Alice up to know which size to cut out. So that is what I've been doing this week. Plans for the week ahead? Well, I've got big plans. So on Saturday, tomorrow, I'm going to be going to the Sewing Social, which is the Staffordshire Sewing Social that's run by Sally, from the Staffordshire Sewist. So I missed out last month and I was very, very upset because although I was on holiday, I really wanted to go. So I'll be going there tomorrow. Be really exciting, looking forward to seeing them all. It's going to be a scorching hot day and I think we're going to have an afternoon tea theme, so that's going to be really exciting. I'm obviously going to take that swimming costume with me, and I still have to think about the other thing that I'm going to be taking. Now, talking about patterns that I've printed off, I bit the bullet and got the Etsy pattern from Tilly and the Buttons. Now this is right up my street. I love a cord, I love a square neckline. I was really excited when I saw it because the last couple of releases from Tilly I haven't really liked. I don't like the Mabel. It's just not for me. It's beautiful on other people, but it's not for me. And the Marnie, it was okay. I liked it. I ended up making it and I like my version, but I don't reach for it. So yeah, I was very excited to see this. Now, so yeah, so that's that. I have the pattern here. There's a lot of pages. I haven't stuck it together, and it would be really nice to get that stuck together and try and find some fabric. It is quite fabric hungry actually, but I think I might make the shorts version. So they're the line drawings. So I might make the shorts version, but I think for the trouser, for the shorts, for the top you need 1 metre, which is great. For the crop trousers you need 2.3 for my size, and full length trousers 2.5, and for the shorts 1.2. So for the shorts and top you can get away with 2.5, 2.2 probably. So that is my plan for that, but I don't know what fabric I'm going to do it in yet. So yeah. So I've also purchased another pattern. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the Sewing Bee, please just silence for 5 seconds because I'm just going to spoil one of the themes, and if you don't want to know what that is, please don't watch this next bit. But obviously they talk about swimming costumes, and I was inspired like everybody else was, and I have purchased myself a swimming costume pattern. So I have purchased this one here, and it is the Carter onesie. And it's basically a swimming costume with a little bit of a peekaboo tummy and a tie here, and I just think it's really cute, and I think it'll be flattering. I'm hoping it'll be flattering. And this was from Edgewater Avenue. They do some amazing swimming costumes, and this was recommended by Jenny from So Confident, who I'm a brand ambassador for. So they've got some amazing swimwear fabric on their website, so please head over and check it out. And if you use the code Adele10, you will get 10% off your order. So I don't have any swimwear fabric for myself in my stash, and so I have got my eye on getting some from So Confident, so that is something I'm going to be looking at buying over the next couple of weeks. But first of all, I wanted to make it in a cheaper fabric and make a toile. So that leads me on to a little fabric haul that I've got. So before I talk about my fabric haul and pattern haul that I'll show you, I just let you know what I'm going to be doing next week then. So I'm going to be getting up that swimming costume sewed up for Alice. I also want to get my little list Sew and Sew project sewn up because I want to get that done so I can film my vlog and show you it. And then I also would like to look at sewing up my sleeveless wilder gown, which I'm not going to show you the fabric again. I've talked about it quite a lot in all my other vlogs. So that needs to get done as well. So they're my plans for next week. So yeah, lots of plans, and hopefully it'll be as productive as it was this week. Next, let's talk to you about what I've been buying. So the first thing I'll talk to you about is the patterns that I've been purchasing. Now, I have purchased a few patterns here. So the first one is this McCall's M8253, and this was inspired by the Sewing Bee again. It's one of the patterns that was featured on there by Tony, and I just really loved it, and I just really love this version, this long sleeve version. I think it looks great in a plain. So yeah, I purchased it and I'm going to have a go at making it, and I think it's lovely. So that is that pattern. How much fabric does it take? It takes, for dress B, 2.4 meters. I just think that's a really lovely pattern. So yeah, Minerva were having a sale on their McCall's patterns, so I snapped this one up. The other pattern is a pattern that I've had my eye on for an absolute age. It's been quite hard to get hold of actually, and it's a Know Me by Mimi G, and it's really up my street. It's got the most amazing puff sleeves you would ever did see, and it's got some really lovely design style lines. So that is it. It's by Beauty J'adore, I think is how you pronounce it, and I just love this version here. I love it in that jacquard fabric. I think it looks gorgeous. And if I show you the style lines there, you can see that it's got this gorgeous poofy sleeve, 2 options, massively poofy or just semi poofy, and then it's got this gorgeous kind of tier that comes up like this, and I just think it's a really beautiful detail. So yeah, really excited about that one. So I got that in the sale as well. And then finally I went for a swimming costume pattern, and I was really looking for one that had a ring here, because I've got this vision of using having a swimsuit with this like coconut wooden ring there, and I just really like that one, so I've gone for that. And I thought that it had quite a lot of options there as well for 2 pieces. So that's McCall's 8329. Just really liked it, so yeah, gone for that one. And I do love a pattern that has lots of options, and that one definitely had them. And then the final pattern is the one that I told you I was buying, and I have bought it, and it is the Simplicity 9756 co-ord set, which I am just in love with and can't wait to make it. Again, this goes with that swimming costume. It's got a little ring there, and I'll be going for a little coconut style ring to attach the straps. So they're my patterns, and then I also shared with you what fabric I wanted to make in this out of in my summer sewing plans. I'll link my card if you haven't watched that already, but it was this Minerva exclusive fabric, this tropical leopard print Minerva fabric in a viscose challis, and I didn't have enough to make the whole outfit, so I ordered myself an extra 1.5 meters of this, because I really want the cord set, all of it in the same fabric. So yeah, I bought a little bit extra of that. And then I also thought it'd be quite nice to perhaps make the top twice in a dark, in just a plain. So I bought just from the value range, a metre of stretch viscose to make that top in, and I thought that'd be quite nice. So yeah, I just got that because it's quite affordable, and I thought then I've got best of both worlds, all coordinated or just in the black, and then you've got quite a few outfits in that then. So that was my haul from Minerva. Not exciting really from a fabric point of view, because I already have that fabric in my stash, and black's just black, isn't it? But anyway. And then the other fabric that I've purchased, I was really on the lookout for some swimwear fabric, and like So Amazing, who I'd never ordered from before, but do follow, shared some swimwear fabric, and I just loved it, and got some for Alice. But then at the same time, they had really reasonable lining fabric and really reasonably priced fabric for myself. So I decided to get some before I end up buying this more expensive fabric that I've seen to make a twirl. And this fabric came all lovely packaged like this. So first of all, I've got my lining fabric. I think I got 1.5 meters of this. So yeah, that's my lining fabric. I've got 0.5 meter of the lining fabric, and it's very, very wide. For my swimming costume, I probably should have ordered a bit more actually, because it wouldn't have hurt to have this in my stash, but I can always get some more. And that was really priced. I think it was £5 a metre, £5.5 metre. So that's that. Quite boring. And then this is the fabric that I got for my swimming costume, which is called Snow Leopard. Very me. Now I think that with that D ring in that pattern will look really nice. I'm obviously visualising me looking like this, which I don't think I will. But yeah, I really think that's lovely. So I got, I think I got 1.5 meters of that. I can't remember how much it was, so I'll put everything in the link there. And then this fabric, I'm kind of wishing I got it for myself now, but it was for Alice, or it is for Alice, and it's called Mermaid Ombre. Isn't that cute? So I got 0.5 meter of that, and I think it was £10 a metre, and it's this beautiful ombre colour that kind of goes like that, so you can have some real fun with the pattern placement to get the really nice colours. And I'm going to be, I think that will look great in with that one, but obviously I'm toiling this first. So those are my swimwear fabrics. Not doing too good on not buying any fabrics, am I? But much better than I usually am, because I usually bought a lot more by now. Oh, so that is my bumper Friday sews. I hope you can tell that I'm dead excited and inspired by all of this, these patterns and fabrics. I just can't wait to get going. I just want to sew all the time. So the Sewjo is actually back, so I'm so happy about that. Okay, so that's all from me, I think. As I say, week ahead, I've got my sewing social tomorrow, so I'll be taking that swimming costume there, and I'm not sure what else I'm going to take yet, but we'll see. It'll be a surprise. I'm winging it. So that's all for me for now. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you've liked it, please click the like button. If you don't subscribe already, why not? Subscribe, please. And if you want to support my channel further, please go to my Ko-fi account and you can buy me a coffee. Talking of Ko-fi account, I want to say thank you to the 2 lovely people that have bought me a coffee. I really, really appreciate that. And I will be treating myself to a frappuccino this weekend. So thank you so much. Okay, see you all soon. Happy sewing. Bye.